In Europe, there were three crucial decisions. The first was all the way back in 1986, when the Europeans attempted to create a unified banking system with what's called the Single Market Act. They didn't succeed in creating an integrated banking system, but they widened the banking model to this universal banking model combining commercial and investment banking. In 1992, at the Maastricht Treaty, the non-decision was made to leave banking at the national level. That created a lot of competition across national regulators. It meant that national regulators missed the expansion of the banking system when in 1996, the Basel Committee decided the big banks could use internal risk models to calculate the capital buffers on their investment banking operations. And what the large universal banks did was that by manipulating their internal risk models, they saved the capital there and used it to expand even more. So you get this massive expansion in the largely northern European universal banks. That then went into both the US and into European periphery. On the US side, it was more inaction than action. The US had caps on deposits for banks, which were the commercial banking system, but not for the investment banking system, which slightly confusingly, since they were called banks, actually were not under banking regulation. So when inflation went up, the deposits shifted from the commercial banks to the investment banks. And then what happened was the commercial banks started selling mortgages, loans, to the investment banks using asset-backed securities. Now the point about this is that the investment banks had much less capital buffers than commercial banks. So essentially what happened was the US banking system became less capitalized because the investment banks were essentially doing banking. And that's what shadow banking sort of means, that other people who aren't banks are doing banking, and that's what happened.